All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Amanda Medek, and today we're going to go over the basics of Exit Promoshop and check out the new editor that was just implemented for all major browsers this week. So if you are brand new to Exit Promoshop, you can access this through the ERC. You simply click on Exit Promoshop and it's going to launch you into your free trial. Now, Exit Promoshop is a suite of marketing tools that's connected to over 4,000 custom marketing materials, including Exit-specific pieces. And then we have a full CRM, and we also have automated features such as campaigns and the e-newsletter. These tabs on the left-hand side are going to guide you throughout all the features and functionalities that the system offers. So I'm going to go ahead and start on my profile. This is not a tab that you're going to visit every day, but it is very important, especially when you're first setting up your promo shop. So this is where all of your contact information is held, and it automatically pulls on all of your marketing materials, and it's where notifications stem from as well. So it's very important that all of this information is correct. Capitalization exists where capitalization should. You'll notice that some of these are non-editable fields, and this is going to come from your backend in the ERC, which you call memo. But those fields that you can edit, make sure that all that information is correct. You can also use social media marketing if that's what you're using, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube, by putting the URL for your profile on, say, your Facebook within this little field. On all electronic pieces like an email, there's going to be a logo that appears at the bottom that's going to hyperlink and connect you straight to your customers. Your exit logo is automatically going to be put in the system for you, defaulted on all pieces. And then you can add your agent photo here. I do suggest that you have a portrait size, so smaller on the top and bottom and longer on the sides. And again, all of this information pulls on all of your marketing materials. So it's super important that it's correct, and it just allows you to not have to keep entering that information every time you create a piece. So if you do make changes, make sure that you save your profile. The other tabs that we're going to get into today are the Contacts Manager, Marketing Materials, Campaign, and the e-newsletter. Contacts Manager is great, and we really want you to use this as your book of business. So if you're a new agent and you're just starting out and you want to import your contacts, that's great to start from that clean slate. So we don't want you to sync. Again, we want you to be strategic in how you enter your book of business. So remember when you got your smartphone or your iPhone and you were so excited because your Facebook and your Gmail and your Outlook and all of these different sources synced into your phone, and you thought that it was going to be so easy to have all that information in one place. And then you opened the contacts book and it was just a big old mess, right? So there was duplicates and there were things that weren't linked to the right person, and it was just a big, huge mess. So we really want you to be strategic in putting people into groups and how you're importing. So a quick kind of overview of how I would understand the Contacts Manager is, first I want to export from all of my sources. So buttons on the top here, very intuitive. I would go to my Gmail, for example, and I'd export that spreadsheet. And within that spreadsheet, I'd start to create columns. So first names, last names, email address, physical mail address, city, state, all of that. So with that, there's going to be a title column. I use that title column as my groups column. So if I have this big spreadsheet and I want to start, being organized right away. So with under that column, maybe my groups are sphere of influence, maybe first-time home buyers, maybe my prospects and my A group and my B group. It really depends on how you want to group, and then you can import them into the system and make it a lot easier. So I would start first by managing my groups. So what groups do I want to put in here? So this is just a test account, so you'll see that I have a number of just different test groups put in here. So I would add them in here, add maybe my prospects A group. I can edit any group, so maybe I don't want clients in here and I want to call them past clients instead. I can edit them, or I can delete them. So maybe I want to do first time expired. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that group. Same with areas of interest. So why it's important to start grouping is because we want to make sure that we're sending valuable information to the right people that are actually going to pay attention to it. If you're farming your neighborhood and you send everyone a recipe card, that's great, but it's more likely that only about 1 or 2% are actually going to save it and save your information. So we want to make sure that we're grouping and sending people valuable information that they're actually going to pay attention to. So areas of interest are also a great place to stay organized. So once we've managed our groups, we want to import our groups, import all of our people. So here's all of the different sources that we've researched for you on how to export and how to import. You're most likely going to use that Microsoft Excel option, and I click on it. My internet is spinning. I'm working from home, but I have a pretty strong connection. Let me try importing contacts again. Okay, I'm going to pause the video just a second. Import contacts. Let's try this again. Microsoft Excel. Okay, perfect. So now it's going to show me how I save the file. I'm just going to save it as a CSV, comma delimited. I press save. It's going to give me a note that says, are you sure you want to save? You click OK. And then I'm going to click next. And now I can add a specific list to a group right here. I can add to multiple different groups. But if I'm using a new list, I probably don't want to group them yet, right? So it's a brand new list. There's a bunch of different groups in there. I don't want them to be in all of those different groups. So I'm not going to choose a group, but I am going to choose my file. I can go in here and get my CSV, check that it has a header row so we don't have first name, last name, all of that at the top imported. Then I'm just going to map my fields, so make sure first names are connected with first name, last name, title and group since we use that in our spreadsheet. And then the system's going to do a duplicate check and see if you're importing 1,000 of the same email address or the same person, and make sure that we organize those so that this list comes out clean. So once you have success and you've imported them into your system, it's going to show in this big list here. So next step I would take, because I've just imported this big list with a lot of different groups, is I'm going to click Find a Contact. And I'm going to search through those different contacts. And I just select all so you can see all of the different fields you can search from. But remember, we were using that title column to do all of those groups because this is the first time I'm putting a spreadsheet in there. So maybe I would do my sphere of influence as a group. But again, I can search by any contact information, any contacts added between a specific date, those with invalid email addresses, those who have unsubscribed, so on and so forth. I would simply search for those. It would bring me up a list. I can check all. And then you'll notice on the right-hand side I have all of these actions. So checking the boxes, I'm working with multiple contacts. And then I have these actions on the right-hand side. What do I want to do with these people? So we're just setting up our contacts manager, so I want to add them to that group of the sphere of influence. But you'll notice that I can send all of them a marketing email, text email, add a note, important date. I can schedule a meeting, a phone call, a task, print letters, labels, or envelopes, print contact information, Your contacts are never stuck in the system. You can always download, same thing as export, save mailing list, delete contacts, add to a group, or add to a campaign. So that is working with importing the contacts, organizing the contacts into groups, and then you kind of saw how you can work with multiple different contacts. Now I can also work with individual contacts by clicking on their name. So I just clicked on Jennifer Anderson's name. I can see all the contact information that I've entered about her. I can see that she's a broker owner. I can see her email address, what different groups that I've added her in. And then I can see any notes, tasks, meetings, calls, important dates. And a great thing is I can see any emails that I've sent to her as well. So I haven't talked to Jen in a while here. It looks like I sent her an email at 7 p.m. almost December in 2011. Now if I click on this date and time sent, I can see if Jennifer's opened my piece. So it does look like she did open my piece, but I got this button now, View Group Email Report. Because I have a C here, that means that it was part of a campaign. So it was probably sent to multiple different people. So I'm going to go ahead and view my group email report, and I can see how many people I sent it to, and if they've opened it, and at what time they've opened it. So this is great because I can start to understand my clients' habits and when they're checking their email. So if I saw that Griffin here was checking his email at 8 p.m. every night, I don't know about you, but I probably would try and send him an email or connect with him a different way. But if it was maybe Janice Petaway here who's checking her mail at 7:30 in the morning, great time to maybe schedule a phone call or schedule a task to try and catch up with her and see if she has any other needs that I can help with. You'll notice by clicking on Jen, I have all of these different actions as well. So similar to working with multiple contacts, but we're going to be able to edit the contact details, which is great because I can add additional contact information for Jen. I can add personal information, so a birthday, which we're going to get to in campaigns, which is awesome because you can automatically send people a birthday card every year or a home purchase anniversary card. I can also add a second contact, add them to multiple groups here. Maybe I'll put her in Exit Webinars. I can add any interests. I can add additional phone numbers, email addresses, mailing addresses, and also this is where I can manage her unsubscribed. So maybe Jen accidentally unsubscribed from me. I'll get a notification to that email that's in my profile that says that Jen unsubscribed, and the system will automatically uncheck this box, dropping Jen from any email communication that I send, even if she's in a specific group. But say that Jen accidentally unsubscribes and she wants to be resubscribed, I can go in here, recheck that box, and then she is resubscribed. Cool. So a little bit more into the contact manager. We kind of worked through how to strategically import people and group them and how to understand the different emails. Now you'll notice all these different buttons at the top, one of which is email tools. Most businesses still being generated from referrals. Great thing about the system is I can see who's actually forwarding my email. So it looks like I sent this email to Anthony O'Shea, and he forwarded it on this specific day. The person he sent it to did open it, but they didn't convert. So they didn't want to receive more information from me, but they do have that option. They have the button to receive. Now, if this was a campaign that was sent, automatically over each month or automatically or continuously, and they signed up, I'm going to get that converted checkbox, and then I'm going to get this button as a new contact. I'm going to get a notification that says, hey, John Smith signed up to receive your e-newsletter. He'll continuously receive that e-newsletter, and I'll have him automatically have all of his contact information in my contact manager. So one last button that I absolutely love in the Exit Promoshop system is the purchase mailing lists. Now, we use InfoUSA, which they are only in the business of collecting data and information, so they're all up to date. They're going to use multiple sources rather than what your title company is going to use. It's usually off tax records, so you can really get into who's living in apartments. So a great example of a list that never goes bad is rent versus buy. So those first-time home buyers. I collect data in a specific zip code for those making $60,000 or more, and they're renting. I can add or current resident, and I can continuously send directly to those specific renters, as in the list absolutely never goes bad. All right, so that's the contact manager. Does anyone have any questions so far? If you do, there's a chat box at the bottom and I'll see it. So don't be afraid to ask a question. I'm sure if you have the question, somebody else does as well. But if we don't have any questions, I'm going to continue to jump on through. And again, this is just the basics. We do have a couple more webinars coming up where we're really going to get in-depth into the system. Marketing materials. Again, we have over 4,000 marketing materials. And I'm working with Melanie and Christina at corporate to always update these and keep new materials coming into the system. So new exit materials, we have 37 alone. But you'll notice that we've organized this nice little library, so I can really find exactly what I'm looking for by opening these little triangles. If I'm looking for a property flyer, that's going to automatically import my MLS data. If I wanted to do a postcard, just listed, just sold, open house, property, MLS, farming and targeted marketing, any announcements, especially those first time, those newer agents, these are great, so on and so forth. We have newsletters, home buyer, home seller guides, folded greeting cards, business cards, photo books, door hangers, stationery, sports schedules, text email templates, and we also have the automated marketing and motion pieces as well. So I really encourage you to go into the system and sign up for your free trial and just look through the amount of materials that we offer you, and you'll start to notice that we've grouped them by niche as well. So if you're looking for a specific niche or a niche, I call them niche, whatever slang you like to use, we've really laid it out great for you. So a cool thing and something that's very unique about the Exit Promoshop system is I can create one postcard, for example, and I can send this out in multiple different ways, so utilizing multiple different channels. So I can open a PDF, save it to a zip drive, run it over to Kinko's and have it printed. I can print it, self-print it on my printer at home or in the office. I can email this. I can post to a website, meaning I can put it on Facebook or social media or Craigslist, so on and so forth. But I can also professionally print these as well. So you'll see that order print when you can professionally print them. We do use Shutterfly, so they're very low price. They're, what am I trying to say? Moderately priced. So because we are a national providing company, we have 3 different sizes. We have the jumbo, the regular, and the panoramic. So if you're using the Everyday Direct, you can use our panoramics. But they're always great quality and great price. All right, so automation. We're going to get into these 2 tabs a lot more in the next coming weeks. Campaigns are a number of pieces that have been set up that will automatically go out. So for example, let's say that we were using the moving up. So we're ready to get into that next home. I'm going to let those load. So here are 12 elements that are set to go out over the next year. So these have been set up to be multi-channel. because we know that traditionally, within traditional marketing statistics, the more channels that you utilize, the better return on investment that you're going to get, because you're hitting those people and sending those messages in multiple different ways. I can email all of these. I can direct mail all of these, but it's going to default to that multi-channel. So we've already created the email subject for you when it schedules to go out in the format. But again, you can completely customize this as you'd like, or you can run with ours. You can click on it to see it larger. Do you need more space? This is what it's going to look like if I email it out. You'll notice all of my contact information automatically pulled at the bottom. If I was good with all of this, I can click next step. Add my contacts. This is great where you organize and utilize those groups. So I can just add my moving up or my prospect home buyers group in there, and then this is off and running. Great thing with campaigns is we've already created over 55 pre-built for you. So we've taken the guesswork out of creating that copy and creating the images. But you can create and build one from your own, or you can add on to ours. So they're very customizable. When I get back to this main campaign screen, you'll notice these are all the campaigns that I have set up. So I have this monthly recipe. It's an interval, meaning if I continue to add people, they'll start from that first piece. I have 1 activity, 10 emails, no direct mail. Next delivery is going to be on this specific date. Again, this is a test account, so it's not accurate. And then I have 3 contacts in there. I can also click on the name of the contact, and I'll have all of these different options, 2 of which are reports. So we want to make sure that we're getting a return on what we're paying for, right? Especially, we don't want to use our marketing dollars to speak to or send mail to our past clients or our sphere of influence, because those people aren't thinking about real estate 95% of the time. You really want to utilize your marketing dollars on prospecting and gaining new clients. So this gives you a great report, especially if you are sending those direct mails, on, okay, which pieces are doing well and what contacts are paying attention. Maybe you are sending mail and you are sending it to 10 specific people, and you notice, 2 or 3 of them, which is average about 2 or 3%, are reaching out to you and want more information. And it's usually, the statistic is over 13 months, a 2% return, 2.99% return on investment, which is great. So you spend $50 a month for 13 months for 100 contacts, and you got this huge return. So I really think that campaigns are definitely worth it, and direct mail is definitely not dead. So I promised a half an hour. So last but not least, the e-newsletter. And again, we're going to go more in depth into all of this in the next couple of weeks, but I want to show you the Exit Promoshop Basics. So e-newsletter is fantastic. I send it to everyone I know. It is 4 articles and 1 movie that automatically generate each month from Riz Media, the national real estate news source. So it is all general, and it's all going to be national news. So this is something that I would put all of my sphere of influence and all of my past clients into. Again, those people that aren't thinking about real estate 95% of the time, but we still want to stay in touch because we're still generating referrals off of these different groups. So if I did nothing else, I have my branded header, my contact information is automatically going to pull, I have my logo, and then I have those brand new articles and movie, and it automatically sends out that first Tuesday of the month. So you can customize this, and you can also generate leads off of the e-newsletter, but I suggest that if you do, you put that reminder in there. So once a month you can go and change your listings. You can add your listings on the right-hand side. You can add a nice little custom greeting. You can put a mail merge so that it pulls in that person's first name, for example. So it will say Dear Amanda or Dear Scott. You can add your own articles if you like. Maybe your neighborhood association is doing a big fundraiser or whatnot, you can add all of that information in here. And then you can also generate leads like you can with the campaigns with the Post to My Website button. And what this is going to do is you can add a button on your website. You can add a link on maybe your social media, and then you can have those people go directly into a group, and you'll get a notification, and then they'll be added to the e-newsletter send list and continue to receive the e-newsletter. So if you do nothing else today, add contacts and just activate your e-newsletter. Again, this was just an Exit Promoshop Basic. If you have already signed up for your free trial and your free trial is expired, email me and I will reset your free trial. But if you have any other questions on how to get started, we have an amazing customer care team, and they could be reached at 866-614-9372 or support@sharperagent.com. Pretty easy to remember. And then I am at amandam@trulia.com. I know that's confusing, but they own us. amandam@trulia.com. And then if you need me directly, 303-952-3176. Now, do we have any questions? And Charlotte, thank you so much for your question. She says, how do I add a link to Facebook about the e-newsletter? So we'll review that real quick. You're going to use that Post to My Website button. What I suggest you do is you add an image and then you add this plain link, and then you generate your campaign web post. You simply copy this and paste it into your Facebook. Does that make sense? And I can help you with that as well. Awesome. Charlotte's got it. Any other questions today? All right. Well, I hit my exactly 30-minute mark. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you can join me at the next webinar. You should be getting an email invite from Ray. And if you want to review this webinar again, I did record it, and I'm going to send it to Ray so that you have it. But if we have no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end for today. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.